Hello, my tech friend. I'm Barbara. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Tech with Babsy. Today, I'm going to be walking you through my data cleaning automation project. And for this video, we'll be focusing on connecting n8n to your Google Sheets. If you'd like to know more, then let's get into the video. Okay, so for this walkthrough, you should already have n8n set up either locally or online. I'm using mine locally. Now we're going to see how to set the credentials for your Google account that will allow n8n to access your Google Sheets. So I'll come here to this plus button and select a Google Sheets trigger. So I'm just going to type Google Sheets, okay, and then I'll search for it. So we already have it here on row added or updated. So I'm going to select this, okay, and it pops up here. This is what will actually watch your Google Sheets to see if any new rows have been added. Now we need to configure it to our Google settings. I already created credentials before, as you can see here, but we're going to do it again. So I'll click on this drop down, and then we'll click on create new credential. Okay, so this now pops up and we can see this OAuth 2. So we need to select this. It's already selected by default. And then we need to take or copy this OAuth redirect URL because we're going to use it in another site that I'll show you. So now we're visiting console.cloud.google.com, and this is where we set up our credentials for any. Now we need to create or select a project to work with, right? So there's this open project picker. We click on it. For me, I already have projects created, but in your own case, you'll need a new project. So you click on new project. So let that load. Okay, so here we can now select the name for our project. So for me, I'm just going to use something simple like n8n. Let me clear this up. n8n test project. Okay, and then we don't need this location. We just click on create. Okay, so after clicking on create, still loading. Okay, it's done. Next, we'll go to APIs and services. So we'll click on that. Next, I'll go into the project. So I'll need to select n8n test project since that's what we're working on. And then we'll click on get started. Okay, so let's just wait for that. Okay, good. So now that we're here, we can start creating and adding the information that we need. So for the app name, we can just use n8n app test. And then for the mail, I'm going to choose my email. Next. So here we're going to choose external. So those are the external users who are going to make use of it, the test users. Next, you add your email address again. So I'm going to choose my email. Next, and click finish, continue, and then create. So after audience, we move to branding, and there's really nothing to change here. So we'll leave branding as it is, and we'll move to audience, which is the next. So the only thing we need to change here in audience is just the test user. We need to add the test user. So we can come here and add an email that I want to use as a test user. But in my own case, I already have one. So I'm going to leave that. And then we'll move to the clients next. Okay, so here we need to choose the application type, web application. We can leave the name web client 1. So now at the bottom part, we can see that we need to add some URI information, and this will come from n8n. So if we go back to n8n, we can copy this and we're going to use it back here. So we're going to add the URI here under this authorized redirect URIs. So I'm just going to paste it there. And then once we're done with that, we can click on create. Okay, so allow that. Okay, and now it shows us some information here. We can copy the client ID, and then we can also decide to download the JSON file. So we click on OK. There you have your client ID pops up. Okay, so now this client ID, we're going to make use of it back in n8n. So we're going to paste it here. Okay. So we need to open that up so we can get the other information we need. Okay, so we got the client ID. We still need the secrets. So we're going to copy the client secret from here as well. Go back to n8n and paste it here like so. And then we can save it. So you save and then you can sign into Google after you saved. So you just click sign in and then this pops up. So before you can sign in, you need to enable the Google Drive and Google Sheets APIs that will allow n8n to access your Google Sheets. So now we're going to go back to the Google Auth platform and search for the Google Drive API and enable it. So I'm just going to type Google Drive. Okay, so let that come up. Okay, so there it is. So I'm going to click on it. Okay, and then you see enable. So we click on enable so that we can make use of that API. So we'll let that load. Okay. Okay, so that has been enabled. And then we're also going to enable Google Sheets because we need that too. So Google Sheets, search for it. Okay. So open that as well. I will also enable it so that we can make use of it as well. So let that load. So after doing this, we also still need to set some specific APIs as well. We'll click on the OAuth consent screen here. So let that load. Okay, so after that, we're going to go to data access. So this is where we're going to add this specific Google Sheet APIs to our scope. So you can see add or remove scopes here. Okay, so this is where we can add the links. I'm going to leave the links to these APIs in the description of the video. So I'm just going to copy them one by one and paste them there because these are necessary to enable certain functionality for this project. So add it to the table and then we'll update. So now, after that, you can see it here. The scope has appeared here. So I'm going to add the other two scopes as well. Copy this, add scope. So scroll to the end, manually add scope. So paste it into the field, and then we'll click add to table and update. And now we can see it appearing here. So we'll add the last scope. Okay. And then we'll scroll to the end, we'll paste it, add to table, and then we'll update. So when we update it, we'll see the scope appearing here. And then after that, we save our changes. Okay, so now that we're done with that, we can go back to n8n and we can attempt to sign in after adding our scopes. Okay, so let's give it a try. All right, so never mind that. We just click continue. Yep, and we're in. So you can see that it's telling us what we have access to. So we can just select all. Then click continue. Yeah, so there we have a connection successful. So we've connected our n8n to our Google Sheets. Okay, so now to be sure the credentials worked in n8n, you can check if the Google Sheets trigger can actually see your Google Sheets from your account. And the easiest way to check is to just use the from list option. So then when we do that, we just scroll through and we can actually see the files that we have stored there, the Google Sheets we have in our Google Drive. So I'm going to select Trends History because this is the one that I actually want the trigger to watch in the project. So the idea is if any new rules get added, then n8n triggers a Python API to do the clean. So now we're going to stop here because I think the video is already getting too long. I'm still going to add the sheets. Yeah, so you can select the sheets here. So that's sheet 1. Okay, so stop here. Thank you so much for watching, and see you again in the next video where we actually connect to the Python API. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you found this video helpful. Thank you so much and see you next time. Bye.